Paddy also said in the presser, I'm gonna teabag him like Modern Warfare 2 when I'm done. So my thing, like Molly Meatball is a hype train that's going nowhere. She
when I go up to spit game to her meatball ass, I'm gonna just say like, hey baby.
Let's talk our shit about UFC London. I got my fish hat on because we're going across the pond, baby.
Out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Totally Blitzed podcast. And you're walking into the motherfucking Fight Club. And before we break down UFC London 2, do us a favor, go down and like this video, and do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel. And if you're only listening to us on podcast, do yourself a favor and find us on YouTube at Totally Blitzed. Not that hard to find. But let's get into it. Let's talk our shit about UFC London. Let's shout out our host. I'm Paul. Pick 'em, win 'em, Concha. I got my fish hat on because we're going across the pond, baby.
Damn. Well, don't make me go get mine now. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's been a second since I gone fishing. You feel me? But hey, man, you already know it's your boy Paul. It's your boy. I said Paul. It's your boy Kev, Water Boy, your boy, aka your fight camp enthusiast, and for street fight enthusiast, aka the Dom PYE, aka the motherfucker you need in your corner if you really trying to win. Hire my ass. I could just be a loud motherfucker. They go fuck him up. Better than him. You know what I'm saying? But who else we got in this motherfucker?
I'm not another Paul, man, but it's Big PT. You know what it is, boys.
I don't blame you, Kev. My name's so nice, you gotta say it twice.
I lies.
But man, this fucking card, UFC London 1 was fucking nuts. I just hope this second one's to fucking match up.
So these numbers is fucking winning. So this is the first time. Last time was the first time they went to London.
Not the very first one, but they haven't put any numbers on it. Like, it's technically a fight night, but no one calls it fight night. And it's UFC London, but this is the second time this year. But they've been there a few times in the past 5 years. But like, I'm just calling it UFC London 2 just because, you know, this is, people know what you can't. The first one's so nice. I can't like forget about it.
Nah, that shit's great. I think UFC London is beautiful because there's some UFCs I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on UFC Mexico. I'm waiting on UFC Tampa. I'm waiting on another UFC Canada. So I like to see the fact that London is eating like this. UFC Australia, I need that because there's so many people representing that side of the world. Like, I really want to see what the fuck they fans look like. When's the last time UFC went to Ireland?
I don't think they've ever been to Ireland, but
they went to Dublin with Conor one time. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I say. The only time I could see was if Conor was the main event.
They went to that. They set it up like that. Like, Conor came in, that bitch, Dublin's hero, ran that motherfucker. Yeah, that boy. They knew what they was doing on that one. They literally chose that event for that motherfucker. They knew what they was doing. So motherfucking, it makes me really wonder. Like, does UFC London, the fact that UFC London is in UFC South Asia, wherever the fuck they was at,
Singapore.
When Singapore, when they was in Singapore, like Abu Dhabi, like are they gonna start branching out to these other places? Like, if Shevchenko gonna have some, like, you got all these motherfuckers from Dagestan, is there gonna be a UFC Russia when shit slows down one day? Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. I really want to see UFC just continue just eating in these different markets internationally.
UFC needs to be eating, but we're gonna be eating because this is a fucking stacked ass card. I mean, there's a lot of the same names from the first UFC London. So if you watch the first one, you would see this card and be like, oh fuck, they just kind of running it back.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted. Like, the motherfuckers with KO and motherfuckers like crazy. Marcus, you remember that fucking shit?
Motherfucker. Yeah, that shit was OD, man.
Yeah, a real striking fan every striking fan in the world loved that shit. That was a fucking phenomenal card. Mark, what did you remember from that shit?
Fucking brawls, back to back, nothing but bangers.
Molly McCain spinning elbow finish.
I was just about to say, bro, that spinning back elbow, everyone went crazy, lifted off their feet, but the crowd was into it, man. That shit was lit.
Hey, it's between that one and the Tony Ferguson kick for knockouts of the year for me. And maybe Zane would be, but I kind of like that first one a little. Molly's a little bit better. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think Molly's more clean, but Zane Woodley was against higher comp. So like, it's like which one are you gonna give a little bit more to?
That's real, but I still think this was my favorite. UFC London 1 was definitely my pick for best card by far. Like, I think Abu Dhabi might beat that. Abu Dhabi, UFC 280 is trying to. But if we're talking like fight nights, UFC London is untouchable. The way they got everybody.
My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay. I just love when the crowd be in it too. That also like makes a card the best card of the year. Just like to have the crowd so lit and in every single fight to the end. Man, I love that. Where you can feel it through the TV almost.
Well, shit. Enough of tickling y'all's fancies. Let's get into this motherfucking card in front of us right now, bro. So, real quick, shout out on the prelims before we get into the main card, because we're only going to be talking the main card this fight. So, shout out on the prelims. We got 3 people that are massive favorites, and it's because they're 3 fucking great-ass prospects. Mason Jones, minus 400, 11-1. Insanely talented striker. He's actually the last fight on the prelim, so he's setting up for the main card, and he should put on a show. Nathaniel Wood, that good Wood is what his nickname is, and that boy is taking on Rosa, minus 575, massive favorite, and he's been a killer so far in UFC. And then the biggest favorite, minus 500, is Muhammad Mokaev, 7-0. Fucking just been mauling people. Like, this is pay attention to him because he's getting a lot of Islam Makhachev comparisons. And he's taking a little pre-fight drama. He posted a picture of him with an AK-47. That's what Russians be doing. And he was just like, see you on Saturday at whatever Charles Johnson name is. And Charles Johnson's from St. Louis. And he was like, boy, don't threaten me with a gun. We from the real murder capital. And then he started going in heavy. And then like Muhammad's basically like, man, shut the fuck up. I'll just see you on Saturday. Stop crying. And I was
both of the Draco.
But that was the pre-fight like thing. That was the most pre-fight drama on this card, basically, was that prelim fight behind Muhammad Mokaev and Charles Johnson. But Muhammad's a minus 500 favorite. Everyone knows he's gonna go in there and just maul this dude.
You sure, man? I don't know, man. Paddy was kind of very candid on his interview. I think with the Mac Life. I seen his interview with DC and RC. I kind of fell asleep a little bit because like it be fucking me up when I hear him talk. He sounds like a real leprechaun. But he was saying like his name is in every. Yeah, he said I'm a schnauzer.
Scowl with a C.
Oh, I'm a schnauzer. Yeah, that nigga's fine. I'll fuck with that shit. But he says his name is in everybody's mouth right now, and I think it is. I ain't gonna lie to you. I bring up bro whenever I get a chance, and like he's on motherfucking grade A entertainment. But somebody I've watched it every day on Point, and they actually put him as number 1 as the most skeptical to fans, and I was like, that makes sense because he hasn't had no new talent yet. But like that's a little bit of pre-fight drama for me. I was like, dang, that boy Paddy really gonna have to let them boys know something because you seen Sean O'Malley had a lot to say, and now my boy fighting Peter Yan. So,
I'm gonna add to that pre-fight drama before we step into the Paul Craig fight. Paddy also said in the presser earlier yesterday saying, I'm gonna teabag him like Modern Warfare 2 when I'm done. So yeah. That boy Paddy is talking.
That boy Paddy, the GOAT.
But let's get into this main card, guys. Let's fucking talk this shit. We got Paul Craig versus Volkan Azunimir. I don't really know how to say his last name all too well. But fucking great kickboxer versus a great BJJ guy. Let me hear y'all thoughts before we really break it down.
Craig, didn't he come off a submission, right? His last fight?
Yeah, he's riding a 4-fight win streak altogether before that, but 7 out of his 8 wins in UFC are all submissions, and of those 7 wins, all 7 are performances of the night.
Jeez.
Ooh. So you're telling me Paul, who did he lose to?
Let me see real quick. I don't have who he's lost to, but he's lost to, I wouldn't say really a lot of notable guys, but he has beaten like Jamil Hill, number 10 ranked light heavyweight, and he was all hyped up to be the next great thing. He stopped that hype train. His one draw in his last 5 fights was against Shogun Rua, and then he avenged that draw by making Rua tap out on strikes, which you don't ever see a motherfucker tap out on strikes. And then he submitted Muhammad Akliev, who's number 4 in the division, and his only loss in the division is to Paul Craig, 17-1, like a real killer. So he has great wins. Honestly, I think he should be ranked higher than he is. And, his last fight, he submitted the guy 2 fights ahead of him. He submitted Nikolai Krylov, who's 2 fights ahead of him on this card, which doesn't make sense to me.
It's one of those low-key talents they don't really want to tell nobody about. Like, yo, Paul Craig, you bitch. We gonna wait. We gonna wait till what weight class is this?
This is light heavyweight.
Oh yeah, we gonna wait till like Yuri and the boys get a little tired, and then we gonna let Paul Craig take over. But I like
old.
got some stats now. He's old.
I wouldn't say old, but he's had a lot of fights, and was going to be his 10th or 12th fight in the UFC. Like he's had a lot. This is like kind of, he went 3-4 to start, and then now he's on like a 4-fight win streak. So he's kind of on like this Oliveira run. And there's the names I named to you, like those are high level talents in this division, like kind of low key an Oliveira type run.
Hey, that's such a nice coin term. I love the Oliveira run. Well, Mark, man, what you know about these motherfuckers? I don't know shit.
I only know a little about Craig, man. I just know that boy is nice on the ground. Man, we covered his fights before. I'm pretty sure.
I remember hearing his name because it was Paul, and I feel like I remember watching his fight. But I'm still on the cycle. Like a lot of these motherfuckers have passed every week. So like, I always look at kickboxing versus BJJ. It's pretty much the two biggest thing. Like, can you get Brett to the ground? And can you get Brett to the ground without getting the shit kicked out of you in the face? And if you get Brett to the ground, can you submit him before he gets all the way back up? Because like Alex, when you look at the top, when you look at the middleweight division,
this is light heavyweight.
Yeah, but I'm talking Izzy and them boys. That's middleweight.
Middleweight, yeah.
Yeah, when you look in the middleweight division, you got the rising stars of kickboxer, the champ is a kickboxer, and the champ's never gone for a takedown in his life. So like, what can Brad do to defend Paul Craig?
See, I won't say Alzamir doesn't have any takedown defense, but he is a kickboxer. So you know he doesn't have the best takedown defense. But
I'd be trying to say that, but I feel like Adesanya probably has some of the best takedown defense in the whole corporation, and he's a super kickboxer, and he's never gone for a takedown.
I wouldn't say the best, but it's also because he's learned to get better. That boy Jan was throwing him, and after that Jan fight, he realized like, oh shit, like if a motherfucker comes in, and Marvin Vettori was a close fight in that first one because all the takedowns. So then he learned to become better at takedown defenses. And Alzamir, I don't think has learned it because he also hasn't been like that champion where he has to defend shit. But he's good at kickboxing. But he's lost to DC where he got pummeled. He lost to Anthony Smith where he again got pummeled. And then he loses to Dominic Reyes where again takedowns was a big thing. His only real great win is against Alexander Rakic, who just came off that fight against Jan, where he messed up his leg in like the second round. And that Rakic win was a split decision. So it wasn't like he really won it. It was a close-ass fight. And then he gets smoked by Yuri. And then Muhammad Akhilov, who Paul Craig submitted, ends up destroying him in a 5-round fight. Like, it's like destroying him on the feet. Just showing him, I'm the better striker.
Ooh, so it sounds like it's gonna be a long day for my dog, Rock, whatever you just said, against my dog Paul Craig.
Paul.
I think Paul Craig has the best submissions in BJJ and light heavyweight, and I say that with confidence.
Over Glover?
I think so. This is like him and Paul Craig are equal, but I think Glover's over the hill. Like Glover's is old at this point, where I feel like Paul Craig can. His last fight, Nikolai Krylov is standing in fucking full guard on top, standing on top of him, goes, and then one, he takes the fucking thing, wraps the legs around the head, chokes him out, fight over.
Nice. And
it was like off his back, like he's just as dangerous as if he's on top, which is not a lot of BJJ artists can say, but that's why I think all three of us are riding with the same dude here.
Yeah, you know how I feel. Anytime I see BJJ, I'm low-key going to get a little closer to choosing you. You seen how I picked Ortega last fight?
No, I see. So
Bro,
that's
the first time I've been wrong in a main event in a while, but we'll talk about that later.
So we all got Paul Craig, number 8 in the light heavyweights versus number 9 in the light heavyweight. So 4-fight win streak. And Paul Craig, he said he's going to retire in like 2 more fights. So he wants a title fight now. Like he called out his shot last fight. He kind of deserves it with his run that he's on, even though he's not a top 5 guy. He's beating a lot of top 15 to 10 talent.
I think that's interesting because that is full of one and dones. Not one and dones, but like there's been 3 title fights and there's been 3 different champions in the last 3 fights. So like it'd be interesting to see Paul Craig get a title fight and then retire. Like
I don't think he'll retire if he wins that motherfucker, but if he loses, he definitely will.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's what they're on right now. I think there's a lot of one and done shit going on in the light heavyweight division. But yeah, I got Paul Craig in this one, man.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. Honestly, I think this Paul Craig's fight shouldn't have opened the prelims. I think this one, I'm not the main card. I think this fight should have. But Molly Meatball McCain versus Hannah Goldie, 24K. Goldie, I mean, coming off the Dana White Contender Series, she's had a few fights, good volume, good speed, okay combos. There's not a lot of pop in her shots. And then, of course, everyone knows Molly McCann after the last UFC London, that spinning back elbow to fucking finish the fight. Let me hear y'all thoughts on this fight.
I've been practicing my back elbow ever since I seen that. So when I go up to spit game to her meatball ass, I'm gonna just say like, "Hey, baby."
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Hit the nearest nigga next to me, knock his ass out. And I'm telling you, I feel like I could get a number. I'm not gonna lie.
Can Marley get another knockout like this again?
I mean,
nice fighting.
Hannah Goldie, like I said, off a Contender Series. So she's had a couple fights already in the UFC, but she's still like young. She's fresh in the UFC. My thing, like Molly Meatball is a hype train that's going nowhere. She's fighting entry-level opponents.
That boy Paul be
for about
killing
5 years now. Like Paddy's been in the UFC for like 1 or 2, and like people are like linking them together as a duo. Molly Meatball is in 2017, 2018. Like she's been in the UFC. Flyweights is not like women's divisions are not deep. And for her to be unranked for 5 years and everyone she fights are like entry-level opponents, and every time she fights a good wrestler, she gets mauled. It's like, I hope you don't fight Lauren Murphy because Lauren Murphy just held her shit down against Miesha Tate. I really hope you don't fight Shevchenko because Shevchenko will outbox. Like all you got is boxing, and Shevchenko is the best boxer in the division by far. And that's it. But she's always being marketed as if she's a fight away from the title, because she's just all of a sudden now she's too, like the last fight she jumps over the cage, gets the belt, has a fake belt when they're calling her name. You're unranked. You only fight, like you lost to Tilia Santos in like her second fight ever in UFC. You definitely don't want to see her in a rematch. Like this is a hype train that I really don't see going in. Like I don't like the UFC sees like, oh shit, they like her. Let's put her on the main card. But if she was not Molly Meatball, she would be a fucking this would be an opening prelim fight right now.
They love her in London, man. She got bitches in.
This shit sound like some over the seas shit in boxing too, man.
Like, I mean, it's not even like she kind of had close fights with the wrestlers. Like Robertson, 5-minute control time, submits her in the second round. Procopco, 7 out of 9 takedowns with 12-minute control. Tilia Santos, 5 of 7 takedowns with 8-minute control. Like she's completely getting mauled and can't get back up.
I was about to say, it sounds like once she gets down, she's not coming back up.
But yet, you would like marketing wise, she seems like she's a fight away or 2 fights away from maybe touching the gold. And it's like she's a hype train that she's like minus 400 on the bets. Like I want to be like take a flyer on Goldie. Like I don't think she'll win this fight, but Molly McCain's not a minus 400 fighter.
Smart, good betting. But hey, man, I'm not gonna. I wanted to say good things about Molly because that's what I was rooting for in this fight. But I'm just gonna say I picked Molly Meatball and keep it moving. God damn. I hope she get another fucking crazy knockout.
Right. I want another fantastic knockout, man.
Changing people's mind and shit. I'm over here trying to figure out how to marry this kid, and you're over here just like, yeah, this bitch ain't shit.
I mean, she should win this fight because they're both strikers. Like it's kind of like the UFC set her up to win this fight. Like they want to keep the star rising. They want to keep so you got a striker in front of you who doesn't have power.
They doing the boxing route.
Yeah, and like we saw Molly Meatball can box from the inside. She can knock you out. She's very confident. So like I said, she should win this fight, but she's not this dominant fighter that I feel like UFC is trying to sell everyone to what she is.
That's real.
You heard it here first.
Oh man, this man Paul is just mean.
I'll cut it how it is, bro. I'll say it how
Fuck
it is.
you, Molly. Fuck you.
Paul just gonna give it to you raw, regardless. No fucks given.
On to our next fight on this main card. We got the Alexander Gustafsson's return fight, bro. Nikolai Krylov coming off a loss to Paul Craig, who starts this main card, versus Alexander Gustafsson in his first fight back in, I think, a couple years or a year or so. But how do y'all feel about this one?
All I know about Alexander Gustafsson is that he was the closest person to beat John Jones. And I was like, that's a kind of a big deal. It's not really easy to come close to being John Jones. I think DC is a hell of a champion. But when I seen what John Jones did to him, I was like, God damn, this motherfucker is different. So for Gustafsson to put that fight on, and I think, did he get his ass beat the second time or something?
Yeah, no, Gustafsson, after that one, that was his highlight of his career, in my opinion, was that close fight.
Like how Charles Sonnen almost fucking took out Anderson Silva, but almost UFC, because that rematch came and you could die.
I mean, like, if he would have been a good fighter afterwards, but his 10-7 in the UFC, it's not like he's like dominant. I mean, he lost his last 3 in the UFC. His last win was 2017 against Glover before Glover went on that crazy run. And then his last fight was at heavyweight in the UFC, where he got subbed in like 2 minutes by Fabricio Werdum, who was 42, coming off a loss to Alexei Oleinik, who was 43. And then after winning, went to the PFL. It wasn't even the UFC no more.
Oh, so yeah. So it looks like this is one of those, the UFC said, hey, you still in shape? You can still get tickets sold.
He looks like he's in shape, though. I will say that if this is a hungry Gustafsson, it will be a good fight, but it's hard to buy into that after finding out that he kind of went out sad.
That shit sound like it's dead flies.
God damn. I mean, I'm still taking, bro, but damn. I'm thinking this man's like low key one of the OGs. Like I'm thinking like he was around the way type.
He got tossed around.
God damn, he sound like he was gone for a reason. Like
what about you, Mark? How do you see this one playing out?
Hey, tell us about the other dude. I don't even know about other bro.
Oh, Nikolai KO. He can bang at KO power. He stand up mostly, but he can go to the ground. He's just a little weird though, because he has ground game and he has stand up game, but he doesn't mix it together. Like it's either one or the other for the fight. It's not like he can really. It's not MMA. It's one of. It's a little weird to say, but he can do both. And he was dominating Paul Craig in that first round till Paul Craig fucking locked him up and choked him out. So it wasn't like he was losing before his few losses to former champ Jan. That was literally his first fight in UFC was the Jan. He lost. The Glover lost. Meklamed Ankalaev. I said his name another time, but the 17-1, number 4 light heavyweight in the world, lost to him. Like those are fucking all championship contenders or champions or former champions. So he's not like he loses to bad fighters. But if Gustafsson's hungry, this might be a really good fight because Gustafsson was a kickboxer. So like if this is a stand-up fight and he's hungry, this really could go either way.
This is interesting. I hope this is a good one. This is one of those. I hope you get that rust off of you. And I hope you just put on a nice show because they're probably not finishing your contract, man. Like they will get you up out of there if you can't.
Gotta fight for another contract.
They will feed you to Hamzat Chimaev if you fuck around.
Yeah, you better be careful. And they do not do that shit lightly.
I'm riding with Nikolai Krylov. I've just seen more out of him in the last fights. And like I said, if Gustafsson didn't go out sad and then like it's a tall, even in boxing, Marcus can attest to this. As fighters get older and they know they can't fight in the division, they just move up weight because they'll still have that speed advantage against like bigger fighters. So him going to heavyweight and still losing was kind of like, oh, this motherfucker toast. This motherfucker really is done. Like he's 35. He might. Hey, we've seen Glover come back from worse. So,
wait, how old is Nikolai?
Nikolai's like 32 or 30. He's not the youngest fighter, but he's not. He also doesn't have the ring rust on him. He fought at UFC London last time.
Damn. I didn't know he was decent like that. I might have to go Nikolai on this one.
I think he's 11th in the division at light heavyweight.
Hey man, I'm going to the old horse. Give me the
smoking your old horse right here, bro.
Give me the grizzly veteran, man.
Yeah, let's see what old Gussie could do.
Yeah, give me old man Gus, man. Let's see if he could lace up. Oh, I can't. I mean, he don't got no boots on. Lace up the shorts one more time.
Oh, Nikolai.
Hop in the cage and kick some Nikolai's ass.
Give me Nikolai, bro. This is like minus 200. I don't think it's a big enough odd. Like the odds they gave Molly McCain is the odds they should give Nikolai, because there's not much that I could see out of Alexander for me to back him, other than that one close fight with John Jones.
Yeah. Chill on the grizzly vet. He's coming out strong.
It's tough because everybody that I've seen, because I'm a firm believer, you can't get better at something by not doing it. You can get a better mindset by you leaving and coming back, but you don't get better at anything by not doing it. So but everybody we've seen come back has not looked good. Joanna, yeah, they haven't looked too great. So I might have to go Nikolai on this one. I'm rooting for Gusty though. Old man Gus. I want to see him, but yeah.
Gus. Old man Gus, man. Let's see it. I want fight of the night from him.
This is a fight that's low key, I think, could go. If Gus is in shape and actually a fighter, this could really be a standing big fight. If he's not here just for the check, then this could be a fucker. And I don't think he's here just for the check, only because you wouldn't return to the ring 2 years later. And he tried to fight someone else earlier this year that got canceled. So he seems to has some hunger.
Fuck that. Gus is coming out here looking for the bag.
Is he gonna get the bag though? You gotta get. Is he gonna get that Shane Burgos bag?
Shit, we'll see. Well, we're on to our top 3 fights of the night here. We got Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Honestly, this is what probably's filming most asses in the seats is his fight versus Jordan Levitt. 10-1. He's not no slouch. This is actually Paddy's first real test, in my opinion, because everyone else he's fought have been like 1-3 in the UFC or 2-5. Like they've been feeding him some not good opponents. But Jordan Levitt coming off a win, twerked on his opponent afterwards, and then coming in this fight 10-1. I think it's a pretty good fight here. This is definitely a step up for Paddy.
Yeah. Bro, somebody doesn't come out as the first openly gay MMA fighter, I'm just waiting on it because it's there. I promise you it's there.
We're right on the verge.
It's there. Somebody.
Because we already got the boxer.
Who?
Which one?
Garcia, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
All jokes aside, though. All jokes aside.
I'm the Ryan Garcia hater.
All jokes aside. I mean, Paddy said he's going to teabag this motherfucker like it's Modern Warfare 2. And I think it was funny because Paddy was just like, I'm gonna fucking talking shit. I'm a scouser. I'll teabag him, all that shit. All Jordan Levitt said was like, that's a good fighter. I can't wait to fight my opponent.
I'm a scouser.
Boy, Paddy, man. And you know what blows my mind? How fat dude was, bro. And now seeing the clips and like, just really in shape, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That shit blows my mind looking at it from like a fighter's perspective, bro. Like he had to go through some shit to cut that shit down, bro. Like, but I guess you got.
It does help him being the bigger fighter though on Fight Night.
Yeah, that's true. And like, I don't know, bro. It's crazy how his body he looked good. I seen the clips of him grinding. Like he looks good in shape compared to like what he was looking like a month ago.
Baseball game.
Yeah. Oh man. Bro, it looked like he got like someone took an air pump and just like pumped him up with some air. I'm like, bro, that shit is not good for you, bro.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
He probably had to cut at least 50 pounds, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less.
Y'all see I know we've sold everyone Paddy the Baddy before. Crazy jiu-jitsu game. For crazy on the ground. Former Cage Warrior champion, can fucking work the mic with the best of them. Probably the best mic worker in the UFC at his young career right now.
Best accent.
Oh, no, but the Scousers, they're by far the best accent in the UFC.
Sausage.
But I will co-sign with MMA on the point. I'm happy you brought that up a little earlier, Kev, because I think he's the most. Cause both of his fights so far, we've seen him back to back. He's gotten wobbled or dropped. Literally, the very first exchange in the last fight on UFC London, he got dropped, and then he got back up, judo slammed the dude, choked him out, won the fight. But you got dropped on it, like, and this guy that you're fighting is like 1-3 in the UFC, and probably is going to be out of it right afterwards. So it's not like you're going against great competition to get dropped. And in the fight before that, he got wobbled. Like Mike Bisping told him in the post interview, he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'll tell you what happened. You almost got dropped. You fucking almost got knocked out. That's what happened." And it, like to be fighting people that are like 2-10 as a combined record in the UFC, and to have both times getting like wobbled and dropped, and being like minus 500 favorites, it's kind of like, yo, like that shouldn't be happening.
It's all mind games, man. You got mind control over Debo. You feel me?
You sound like Cambosis, bro.
I'm gonna let you drop me, yeah, for sure. But I'm a scouser at the end of the day, so I'm always be straight. But no, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Art of War.
Paddy is like the way you look at Sean O'Malley is kind of how part of me looks at Paddy, but like I think he's so entertaining that like I just be like, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. You feel me? But I also feel like I think I can see him just like Ronda Rousey in this motherfucker. Like he was popular, you got to a certain level of hype, but like you instead of like Ronda Rousey starting with the championship, like I think he takes a couple of good L's and goes slides to the WWE. Because he could bank in the WWE. I mean, just talking and shit.
That's wild take, but that I could actually see. That's crazy. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I see him. I think he's just gonna ride his train as far as it could go, and then just take his talents elsewhere.
I could really see him, especially his mic work and everything.
It's the fact that he was a champion and cage fighter though. So that's the reason why I think like, okay. He is a great fighter because Cage Fighter has produced some real like weapons, some real problems. But like, I could really see him just like kind of just like, okay, my pay is not gonna go up any higher because I can't beat these like top 7, top 8 dudes. So like, now let me not do my dog like that. Top 5 dudes. So motherfucking, let me just go to WWE where I can make a shit ton of bags and everybody's gonna love me and I'm gonna eat.
What about you, Mark? How do you view Paddy the Baddy? Because I feel like there's a big polarizing, like either you love him or you're kind of like, oh, he's not legit.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that he got the bag, but maybe they're just not fully, like his tools aren't fully sharpened, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't got everything at that like height yet. How old is he? What, like mid-20s, late 20s?
Mid-20s. I can give you a real age 1 second.
No, that's a real take, Mark. Like his bag's not all the way there yet.
Like you could see he has like the capability.
27.
It sounded like you said 47, but I hear what you're saying. 27.
Yeah, 27, 18-3, 8-1 submission, 6-0 knockout.
So like I mean like at least speaking from his striking, from like the little clips I was looking at, like he lacks a little bit in his striking game and like his pure boxing at least. And like, you know, I mean, but these are all things you could obviously work on. I don't know what his camp situation is and all of that, but I keep hearing the biggest thing and I also been hearing that he's not fighting the best opponents and you're taking easy, like he's easy to hit almost. And
that's why I think this is a good step-up fight because this guy's not like I said, like a 2-10 fighter in the UFC.
Right. So like this will be able to see where Paddy's at, and this will be a good time for Paddy to kind of shut the critics up and Go either work on work on the skills that people think you lacking in the most, or show that you are taking a step forward. Because as prospects, at least in boxing, if you're not elevating your skills in each fight, or at least you're not showcasing that, then you're gonna lose a lot of hype and train quick.
It's interesting. I like that take that you made, because like you think that maybe his skills aren't sharpened because he has to go to fat camp every camp. Like, no jokes aside.
No, but the discipline. I think you can't be like, you can be a champion, but you can't be a dominant, great champion without discipline.
I feel like living like that is only gonna take him so far. He won't be able to be doing that on like what's his weight class? Like, who's the champion in his class?
Please don't say Bantam.
No, my whole tab just closed. I do not have his weight class in front of me. Double back me on that.
Please don't say Bantam. That's all I ask. Don't say Bantam.
I just don't think he's gonna be able to survive in the top dogs of, if you gotta, especially like considering how fast UFC fighters fight. I feel like or at least to me, it seems like they fight quite often throughout the year. Like
lightweight, he's at one. He's with Michael Chandler, Oliveira.
Ah, man.
Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, see, when you start touching those, like Kes said, like those top 7 guys, top 8, 6, 5 guys, bro, like you can't be doing these fat camps that often. Like, you're going to have to be at the top of your game with the top-notch coaches, the best of the best, and like, you real deal got to do what you got to do.
So we talked a lot on Paddy. I'm just gonna real quick tell people what Jordan Levitt is if you don't know who he is.
Oh, there's another person fighting? I forgot.
Yeah, 10-1. He's good at takedowns. That's his bread and butter. He's good at holding people. He's all about position. Like he'll hold you and he'll grind you. And then come later in the fight, he'll strike with you because he already grinded you out for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, or whatever. He has a slam KO win against Wyman. Like, you don't see motherfucker get picked up, power bomb, knockout win often. So when he did that,
drop something on his head in UFC?
Yeah, like then a slam KO win. He'll grind you type of guy. Once you're exhausted, fucking that's when he honestly reminds me of a Covington, Curtis Blaydes in their early fight in UFC, where they only go for wrestling and position, and they only strike with you once they tire you because they got cardio for days.
Real wrestlers.
Like 10-1 for a reason. This is a step of fight. I will say Paddy opened on betting odds as a -400 favorite. He is currently sitting at -260. A lot of money has come in on Jordan Levitt because at those crazy odds as Paddy as a super favorite, people are like, hold on now, Levitt's not some fucking, like, because we've seen Paddy the Baddy at Cage Warriors. I didn't see the fight, but doing my notes and research, I have found out that there's been fights where he's been pinned. Like, he has great BJJ where he can submit people from his back, but also at the same cost, sometimes he's on his back for like 3-4 minutes. And this is only a 3-round fight, so you know how those first couple rounds, if someone holds you down for a lot of time, like that's it. Like, so, but Paddy's a volume striker. He's not polished. He kind of has KO power. Levitt's all wrestler, no striking. Like 100%, like early Colby Covington, a Ben Askren type fighter, if you remember him, like all wrestle, all grind you. And then once I use my cardio as a weapon. So can he hold Paddy down without Paddy getting to submission? Can Paddy just out-volume him on the feet? And he is black belt in judo, so maybe he doesn't even worry about going to the feet, like having to go into that. Like, this is a good fight. Like that. There's a reason why the odds shifted from super favorite, super underdog to like more evened out, because this is a big step up.
I respect it. This is gonna be good. I just hope Paddy wins because I just want to hear his Octagon post-fight interview. It's gonna be nice. That's the one in the Octagon, and hopefully DC's there instead of Bisping. That should be fine. Maybe Joe Rogan. Nah, Joe Rogan's not gonna be there, but DC, that'd be nice.
Well, let's give our official predictions on that before we move on to this co-main event. So I'm gonna just ride my boy Paddy. it's been the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. I've seen him get dropped. I've seen him get back up and win the fight. So I'm gonna ride that roller coaster one last time, and hopefully he gets me back home safely.
I respect him, man. I got Paddy because I like baddies, so I gotta go with my dog. So Paddy, please, I'm gonna eat a patty melt that day, just for good luck. If there was a St. Patrick's Day like Shamrock Shake, and I would go buy that just for good luck.
I'm all right with Paddy too, man, but I think he's going to take a bump on the road eventually, but I just don't think maybe this is it. Maybe later down the road he will, but maybe I don't think this is the fight. So I think he'll get this win, but he's definitely going to be answering some questions.
No, I agree. I agree that like once he moves up and sees like those higher level people that can do it all, he's gonna be in trouble. Jordan Levitt, even though Jordan Levitt can kind of counter him in some areas, I just think Paddy, his bread and butter is the BJJ and judo. We've seen him get dropped in the hands. This person has no hands at all. So this is the first time Paddy might be the actual better striker. So, and he's not going to be, his bread and butter is the ground game. So this on paper should be his wheelhouse fight. And that's why I think I'm riding with him.
This is funny. Hey, on a segue, on some non-MMA shit, but doing a podcast hits hard when you watch Dragon Ball Z in the background. And I'm at the Majin Buu saga, and they just picked who's about to fight in the tournament. And I'm just thinking, like, yo, Vidal finna get fucked up. Like, Vidal finna get her ass whooped. And I'm just like, I hope that energy resonates on the podcast.
Always, right? It's always good to be watching fighting with DBZ. That's the best anime for fading.
Vidal finna get her shit split.
On the co-main event, we got a fill-in fighter. This was supposed to be a Darren Till at-home fight, but Darren Till couldn't.
Still not fighting?
He's not on this motherfucker. We got a Jack Hermansen fighting fill-in fighter Chris Curtis. The odds are even -110 on both sides. Completely a pick 'em. Jack Hermansen is ranked 8th in the division, but I will say middleweight is probably one of the thinnest divisions. So an unranked Chris Curtis is evenly odds with him because like being a number 8, number 9 in middleweight and being unranked is almost the same thing.
Where the fuck is Darren Till at?
He can't fight. He has some injury of like a month. So this isn't a late fill in. He had an injury, or I don't know, it was injury. I don't know what happened, but he was out about a month and a half ago. Chris Curtis fought a month ago, and he was like, "Oh, you need a fighter? I'll fight." And now he's back again for another fight. Chris Curtis, low key, he is like the fan guy. Like this man. Not only is he filling in on a fight that's a co-main event, saved the card, but he's on an 8-fight win streak, 6 knockouts on the way. 3 of them are in the UFC. His former opponents and outside of the UFC, Belal Muhammad, number 5 in the division. He lost that fight, but he saw him in some like regional circuit. He KO'd Andre Falaho, who we just saw on a card previously. He has a win over Matt Dower, who's a former UFC fighter. So he has plenty of experience outside of the UFC with a talent. Like when a fighter is known from a different promotion, it's probably like you don't need to have good fights in UFC. Like you're gonna get that fan. Like people respect it. Like people know him. He's that dude. Knockout machine. Like just completely heavy hands, good wrestling defense. Can be an offensive wrestler at times, but he has 0 takedowns shot. He hasn't attempted any in the UFC. He stuffed 20 takedowns in his last fight against Adolfo, so that's to show you how good of a takedown defense he has. All of his opponents up to this point are similar to Jack Hermansen. Jack Hermansen is a wrestler, like a Colby Covington type of dude. He wrestles you first, and then he strikes with you. If the wrestling don't work, he kind of feels uncomfortable on the feet. It does. That's not like if early in that first round, if he can't get a couple of takedowns, he's in for a long night. But if he can't get some takedowns because wrestling's his bread and butter, you're in for a long night. So that's to kind of give y'all who's who. And let me see. I know Jack Hermansen his only two notable wins are the Kelvin Gastelum and Jakir Suisse. So not bad wins, but he's lost to Sean Strickland. He's lost to Jared Cannonier, or Jared Cannonier took his fucking head off. And Marvin Vettori outstruck him. Marvin Vettori only took one shot on defeat. He never shot a takedown. Jack Hermansen took Marvin Vettori down twice, though, to show you that he is a good wrestler in his own right. But for Vettori to outstrike you should tell you that how good of a striker he is.
And I might have to take Phil and homie on the 8-fight win streak. I'm low-key trying to see Bret Hitler's run into championship fight. Because Usman done ran through everybody else.
You got a month. I would say he took it. It's not a super late fight. It's kind of like Korean Zombie fight against Volkanovski. He took it on about a month left, so he had time to do everything.
That's 4 weeks. 12 weeks would be nice, but 4 weeks to get the job done.
He came off a win, and everyone he's fought prior are similar to Jack Hermansen, wrestlers that strike second. And he stuffs takedowns pretty well. But Jack Hermansen, all his losses come in 5-round fights. This is a 3-round fight. And some, like I say, like wrestling, if you can get someone down and hold him down for 2 rounds, it doesn't matter what happens in that other round unless you get knocked out most of the time.
That's real.
How
That's
about
why
you?
Wrestling only loses to BJJ.
How about you, Mark? Are you riding with the Jack Hermansen, number 8 wrestlers versus kind of a vet too, gatekeeper at this point in my eyes, because he loses the top tier guys, beats anyone who shouldn't be ranked, or the fill-in guy this man is kind of older. He's like 35. He said he's retired twice, and both times he came back, and now he's in the UFC, finally riding his career.
I think I'm gonna rock with Chris Curtis, man. Hopefully he can rely on that power.
Yeah, so
when's his last fight? When was the fill-in?
His last fight was about a month ago.
That's crazy, bro. To even be trying to fill in for
he averages 7.2 significant strikes per minute. Jack Hermansen's 5. Jack Hermansen 1.7 takedowns per fight, 31% average percentage, and then Chris Curtis 0 across the board. He hasn't attempted nothing.
You said who you got, Paul?
See, Chris Curtis gets a lot of respect, and a lot of fans ride with him heavy. But I'm gonna go with Jack Hermansen on a 3-round fight. He's the ranked dude, and honestly, the fill-in, like you never want to, like, you never ride with a basketball team that's playing a back-to-back. I never really ride with a person who's filling in.
That's hard.
So
I respect it. But since we're talking middleweights, can we talk Shavaya versus Nate Diaz for a second? Because God damn.
But they're like, Nate Diaz asked for it, but he's gonna get murdered. And Chimaev's only doing it to grow his brand. Like after that fight, he's gonna be a fucking superstar. Like, and
fucking like real deal top dog.
And he posted memes with his face on top of someone at a funeral, and this tombstone said Nate Diaz, and someone was going into the, like, that boy really, like, he's doing it well. Whoever's telling him to, probably Darren Till, like, because Darren Till at one point was that superstar that was able to grow his brand exponentially fast. So like him being with Darren Till is probably helping him do all this shit now, because once he beats Nate Diaz, bro, he is gonna be fucking everywhere, and he'll have the talent to back it up.
That shit's gonna be crazy.
Can't wait for the weigh-in, because Nate Diaz put his setup.
The boy's gonna come in.
He's gonna laugh, I think, but I think it's gonna be all respect, because I feel like Nate Diaz doesn't have bad, because Chimaev doesn't talk shit. He'll just be like, "Oh, I'll kill you," but like with Nate Diaz, I think he'll give him some respect, and I think Nate Diaz will respect his, because Nate Diaz only respects you if you're not a punk. If you're a punk, he doesn't fuck with you.
My nigga was pissing out at the UFC headquarters the other day. So like, I feel like he's gonna come into this fight really upset. And he's gonna talk. He might say something slight, so that might slight somebody, and that might be what takes Chimaev to the next level. After that fight, I feel like, do you think they're gonna try to make him fight Kobe, or is he gonna get Usman?
Probably get Usman because his star would be so big they don't want to risk it with a Kobe fight.
And then because nobody wants to see Kobe. Well, I mean, Kobe Usman 3 could happen.
You never want to see a 2-0 like someone who has a 2-0 because what do they got to gain from it? If you beat me, I've still beat you twice. Now I got to fight for my belt. Now I'm 3-1. Should I give you a rematch?
That's real.
Like those 2-0s are hard to get. But let's get back into UFC London. Let's wrap out this card. We got a main event for the fucking ages here. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the hardest picks I've probably had in a long time. Curtis Blaydes, 16-3, plus 120 underdog versus Tom Aspinall in his backyard, minus 140, 12-2. Y'all know who both these motherfuckers is. Let me start hearing some opinions. Let me start hearing some thoughts.
I remember watching Curtis Blaydes fight, but who did he beat? Because he beat the shit out of somebody.
Chris Dawkins, and he outboxed him, which is crazy.
Dawkins, yeah. And it was the first rounder, wasn't it?
No, I think it was a second or third, but it was crazy to see him outbox. Like, he doesn't box.
Dawkins. And he beat a nigga named Dawkins. Like, that's kind of dangerous. But yeah, Curtis Blaydes is that fucking dude. He's ranked number 4. Right?
Yeah, 4th versus 6th.
But Tom Aspinall is that guy. Like, if there was somebody that you was like, you wanted to bring to the party, it's Tom Aspinall. Just a cool dude. Comes in, does his job, get the fuck out of there. I'm still a believer that Volkov is a great fighter. So motherfucking Tom Aspinall just coming in, submitting Burn the first round, saying like, all right, fuck it, y'all boys, let's go home. It's pretty gangster. So it's tough to root against somebody like that. So what are the like advantages and disadvantages in this fight?
Shit, I'm gonna ask Marcus real quick, but do you know Marcus might know this answer? We've talked this before. You remember who Tom Aspinall was the sparring partner for, and that's why he had his layoff?
Big Tyson Fury, man.
They brought Tom Aspinall in as a sparring partner for the fight leading up to Dylan White. Not no boxing.
Like, dude got some hands. If you're going to spar the heavyweight champion of the fucking world, bro, you know you got hands.
And then on top of it, we've seen him outbox a lot of people, and he was a sparring partner for him. But his jiu-jitsu is so high of a level because he comes from a family that owns a dojo and teaches a dojo. Like, his family is BJJ teachers. Like, they're fucking grandmaster, whatever fuck level they are. They teach it on a daily basis. He came from the fucking Bret Hart. He came from the dungeon, all right? He really was working. His only 2 losses, like, he's riding like what, an 8-fight win streak coming into this fight. It should be 10 because he had 1 disqualification in between, which was him hitting illegal elbows, and he was winning that fight. And his only other loss was when he stunned dude, dropped dude, was hitting him with hammer fists from the top position, and homeboy grabbed his heel and got him into a heel hook, which you never fucking see ever. But he was literally KOing dude right beforehand. So like, he's just been this dominant guy. And Curtis Blaydes, I will say the one thing that I think he does better than anyone in the UFC or heavyweight is wrestling. There's not a better heavyweight wrestler in the UFC. Former JUCO champion. You can make fun of it all you want, but John Jones was a former JUCO champion. I think Daniel Cormier was a former JUCO champion. And not only does it matter like how high level wrestling he had, but he mixes it in well with punches. The reason why his boxing looked pretty good last fight was because homeboy was worried about when he ducks his head and throws that overhand, homeboy thinks he's shooting a takedown. Bam, lands on the jaw, drops dude. So like, he mixes it in well, very good. In England, wrestling's not in the school system. They don't wrestle from fucking as kids up. So
I don't know no really raw.
They don't make no wrestlers over there in England, bro.
I just gotta go to Russia for that.
So he has great BJJ, great off his back, but he hasn't been wrestling ever since grade school like Curtis Blaydes has. Curtis Blaydes, we've seen shoot 20 takedowns in a fight. His only 3 losses are the Nagano twice, okay? Heaviest hitter and probably UFC history. Both of them knockouts. Don't blame the dude. Current champion, dominant. Other loss to Derek Lewis. When he was winning the fight and when he shoots a takedown, Derek Lewis is in the late rounds after losing all the fight. Perfectly timed uppercut when he shoots the takedown, lands on the fucking jaw, knocks dude out, takes his head off. But he was winning that fight, and Derek Lewis has the most knockouts in heavyweight history. So I can't really blame the dude to lose to Derek Lewis and Ngannou. Those are not bad guys to lose to. Tom Aspinall, this is really an even-ass fight. Do you think Blaydes' wrestling is going to be – is he going to control – we've seen him go 5 rounds and look great in 5 rounds. Tom Aspinall, all first-round finishes or second-round finishes. We've never seen him go 5 rounds. Volkov was supposed to be his first 5-round fight and ended in the first round.
What I mean is Tom got to get him out of there. If Tom can get him out of there, it's just his fight. If he can get his position first and he can submit him or hit him with some or daze him and hurt him and finish it up on the floor TKO. But Blaydes wrestling can really make that a problem because that's something you got to watch the entire fight. So I think if Tom has some good takedown defense, he can do something. But it's an even-ass fight, but I got my dog Tom Aspinall on this motherfucker because niggas ain't that cool.
Aspinall does have 100% takedown defense, but he's only been shot on twice in the whole time in UFC, so it's not really the best. Like, it's hard to tell how good that takedown defense is.
You know, you're the only person that checks both stats. Like most niggas will check one or the other. That would probably be like, yo, does have 100% takedown defense, but it's only against 2 of them shits. Like, come on now.
Like, reel it back in.
Yeah, he's a dangerous one.
Mark, let me hear. I think I know what Mark's riding with, but like, do you have any X factors in this fight that you see it going a certain way?
Kind of like what Kev was saying. Just you gotta watch out for Blaydes' takedowns throughout the whole fight. So you gotta make sure he's gonna have that takedown defense and really just work his shots. And I feel like he's gonna be piecing him. And you already know who I was riding with, Aspinall, man. You think Tyson Fury is gonna be at the fight?
He better be.
He better be at the fight in front row and center.
Yeah,
that's his dog.
I'm going with Aspinall. And he's gonna jump him in the rankings right after getting this one.
Shit, this fight low-key might set up whoever wins this might fight whoever wins Gane to Avasa for an interim belt while Ngannou's away.
Jeez, that shit's getting interesting up there.
It's getting real interesting in the heavyweight division, no cap.
No cap. There's some guys.
All by the champions non-contract.
So how do you see so both y'all riding with Aspinall on this one?
Yeah, you know me and Marcus get down. We usually pick the winners.
So it's in his backcourt. I'm riding with Blaydes on this one because I've seen him 5 rounds. I fucking love Aspinall. His highest, like, I could go this whole 20 minutes and just talk about how Aspinall is the better all-around fighter. But 2 things make me lean towards Blaydes, and one of them is Aspinall's lack of wrestling, and the other one being lack of 5-round fights.
I respect it. I genuinely respect that though, for real. But like, we'll see what happens. Maybe he doesn't need to go 5 rounds. Maybe he can get it done in 2 or 3.
I just don't think he has the KO power because he's not a big heavyweight like Lewis and Ngannou. And we've seen Curtis Blaydes get hit with heavy shots, get outboxed by Volkov before with like mean combos. But his chin stood up against normal people. But when you're fucking Mike Trout, motherfucker of the UFC with the heaviest hands, like a heavy hitter, like that's all you got is the bricks. Okay, yeah, your chin gives in. But outside of those 2, I don't think I could see Aspinall. Maybe a doctor stoppage, like, yo, this motherfucker getting tore up on the feet. Like, yo, stop the fight. But I just don't see him having that one power, that one hitter quitter in him on Curtis Blaydes.
Or if it's 4 or 5 pieces.
That's what I was saying. I could see someone stopping the fight, like, yo, you're getting like tore up. Like the ref calls it like, yo, let's just stop this before it gets out of hand.
That'd be crazy if Blaydes comes in on the road, gets a dub.
Hey, the thing about the UFC, man, every round starts on your feet.
It does, but I've seen a lot about Blaydes, like out of Dawkins, who had boxing background. Curtis Blaydes there's a world where Nagano's not champion, and I could see Curtis Blaydes being, because he was being Derek Lewis right before that uppercut, like really being him. So I think there's a world where his wrestling really takes him to the top, and Nagano doesn't have the instant one hit or KO power.
He fought Gone before?
Nagano.
No, I'm saying, but he Blaydes ain't fight Gone.
Not yet.
That would be a nice Gone Blaydes. That would be. Nice.
I think this fight here sets up for whoever wins Tuivasa, because Tuivasa versus Gon's coming up in Paris. And whoever wins that fight, I think gets the winner of this fight. And I'm rocking with Blaydes.
Shit sound like some WWE #1 contenders match.
Nah, this shit gonna be nice. I'm fucking with it. But on some super quick shit, because we gotta go. Is there one fighter that had all these new fights have been getting named out? UFC 280s, they just hitters. If there was a fighter that you haven't seen get a fight out yet, who would it be?
Oh, a fighter that hasn't got a fight yet.
To give y'all a second to think, I'm going Justin Gaethje. I'm still hurt that like Bro got some tapped out so quick, but I really want to see what Bro can do, because people put a lot of respect on his name. I want to see what's up with Justin Gaethje.
I'm waiting for my dog McGregor, man. Fuck the bullshit.
That's a great pick, actually, because there's a lot of people waiting on that motherfucker.
I'm waiting. As soon as he announced that shit, I'm looking up tickets, flights, all that, bro.
Hotels.
I'm trying to be at that one.
Are you showing up with the Ireland flag or like Ireland colors on?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll talk Irish.
You talking? I'm going throughout the rankings really quick.
I'm waiting for Tony Ferguson to come back. He's like,
no, bro, Tony Ferguson, hang it up, my guy.
Tony Ferguson.
I'll never forget when Joanna retired, and I was
Stipe.
like, yeah.
I'm waiting for fucking Stipe's fight.
Oh yeah,
Stipe versus John Jones has been tickling my ear for
John Jones should be another character too. Where the fuck is Johnny Boy? He's just getting.
I was like, Kev's asking this question, but I have an answer for this question. I just don't know why I'm blanking on it right now.
It's okay, a couple guys.
I'm waiting on Justin Gaethje, but a John Jones fight would be nice. Especially to cover that would be like not a dream come true, but a dream come true.
When's John Jones' last fight? What, like 20?
It's been a bit, like probably since the last time he did cocaine, bro. Like it's been a minute, like 2019.
Before COVID.
That's what I thought it was before COVID, like 2019.
Before the Apex existed.
Yeah, no, we haven't. But he's bulked up. He's did the right thing by taking the time off to bulk up and not rush it. So he's now gonna be like feeling normal at that weight. So he, honestly, the only person that is similar to him is Gone to me, because I think he can beat everyone else, but Gone is literally the same version of him.
I just want him to hurry up and come back and before he's too rusty.
Stipe's been fucking in Cleveland. He's a fucking full-time fireman. He's lifting dumbbells, looking in shape. So like, give me him versus somebody. Like, he's been sitting at number 3 in the division for a minute. Or number 2, actually, right behind Gone.
So you hear that, Dana? Sean Shelby, whoever I need to call. Hey, you heard it here. We need him. We need it, but shit, we picked all our predictions. We went through. Honestly, the whole main card is gonna be stacked, and the prelims gonna be stacked because there's a lot of big talent out there. Every time. Let's see if UFC London can beat 2, because like UFC London 1 is my favorite card so far.
Yeah, let's see if it's like Terminator 2. If the sequel's better than the first.
We got it, man. Hey, man, but disgusting.
Boo!
I'm not even the new helmets. I'm not even the raw ones.
Yeah, they're not even the clean uniforms.
Yeah. But hey, man, I hope Baker looks good in that. But it's been another episode of Totally Blitz Fight Club. This has been a good one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had a long ass day today, boys. So I appreciate ending my night with the dogs. My boy Paul got the gone fishing hat. My boy Marcus being just real as fuck. I'm over here rocking the Space Jam because Well, just like the moon, bro, we motherfucking out of here. It's been totally blitzy. Bitch.
Got a problem with being problematic. Keep the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you could call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes, this ain't nothing new.